Hello.
Hi there.
So this week we're changing it up a little bit. In addition to our new release that we watched, we
Mm-hmm.
are going to give a nice top five of the year 1990.
Yeah, good little recap.
Yeah, we did it. We watched all of the certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes movies from 1990. Again, I pulled from the 1990 in American film Wikipedia page. So, great resource.
Go check it out. Thank you, Wikipedia. You've always been there
Love
for us.
Wikipedia. But to get started, we did watch one new 2026 release.
Yes.
That movie was called The Christophers. It's the new Steven Soderbergh movie. And we watched two new Soderbergh movies last year, so he's really cranking them out. He did Black Bag, which a lot of people really liked. I
wasn't the biggest fan of that.
Yeah, I was just in the middle on that movie. It's not really my genre, though. I'm not a big spy person, but he also did Presents last year.
Loved Presents.
We loved Presents so much. It was so good.
What a unique movie.
A lot of the camera work here in the Christophers was actually quite reminiscent of Presents.
Sure, I could see that.
And I really enjoyed that because I remember watching the trailer for this. I was intrigued because I like the actors and I do like Steven Soderbergh overall. The trailer just kind of felt like your typical British drama, maybe along the lines of H is for Hawk, something like that, you know?
Sure.
But I did have hope based on how much I have enjoyed Soderbergh before. And I think that was warranted. I did really like this movie.
It's not bad. It has Gandalf in it. We love Ian McKellen. Good actor. Great actor, even. Oscar-winning actor?
No.
Oh.
Nominated.
Nominated. You know what? He'll take it.
His counterpart here is Michaela Cole, Emmy winner. I know her from I May Destroy You. Great show.
I don't know it, but great title.
She very recently was also in, you've seen the trailers for Mother Mary with Anne Hathaway.
I don't think so.
I think it's Anne Hathaway is a pop star and Michaela Cole is an ex, maybe fashion designer for her, and they seem to have some tension that may or may not be sexual.
Interesting.
It did not make the list as of now. I've heard very mixed things about it, but I did find it intriguing, so maybe when it hits streaming, I'll check it out.
Okay. Neat.
But The Christophers is essentially about this artist. I guess how art is interpreted by each individual and what it adds to the world.
Yes, this movie has a lot of talking points on like legacy and impactfulness of artwork, different styles. We see a lot of the eccentricities of, I believe the artist's name, Ian McKellen is playing as Julian Sklar.
Julian Sklar, yes.
And he seems to be a well-known but maybe like retired or kind of out of touch artist.
They say that he essentially got canceled.
Okay. Did they ever establish exactly what for? I didn't quite pick up on that.
I think it's just because, given his general demeanor throughout the movie, he's kind of an asshole. He's kind of irreverent. He probably said something that pissed a lot of people off.
Sure.
He went and sold his art on the side of the street
as a big middle finger to the art dealing industry.
Yeah, which I would assume got him a bit blacklisted.
That'll do it.
And then Michaela Cole plays Lori, who is enlisted by Julian's children to pose as his assistant and finish up a series of paintings that he has called the Christophers.
Mm-hmm.
I believe they say this would have been his third Christophers series.
Yes, in a running series, yeah.
And I guess the other two are insanely popular. So when he dies, the children, they want to be able to take those paintings and say, hey, look what we found, and then sell them for a lot of money.
Sure, sure. I had trouble kind of exactly understanding what their scheme was because even though I understand that they were thinking, like you said, once the paintings are completed, they'll be worth a lot more. It seemed like once we actually saw them, a lot of them were already half completed at the very least.
I agree because, I mean, if someone found a half completed Picasso, it would probably still sell for a lot of money.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, I didn't really understand the need for them to be completed, especially since they were talking about the forensic stuff they could do to prove that he actually painted it.
Yes, they're trying to go to the trouble of having Laurie find his exact paints and brushes that have been tucked away near these paintings for, how many decades.
Exactly. And what ends up happening is Julian, who thinks Laurie is just there in an assistant capacity at first, wants her to destroy those Christophers. And
Yes, he thinks he's like washed up now.
yeah, and there seems to be a big emotional attachment there. It's almost too painful for him to pull out the Christophers and work on them or think about them because we learn the paintings are about an ex that he had.
Yes, it like ended badly, something like that.
Yeah, seems like maybe this is probably the only person he's ever really loved. And yeah, it ended badly. So now there's a lot of pain attached to these. He wants to treat them like they don't exist, like it's not real, like brush over the pain.
Sure, I almost took it as acknowledging these paintings he did not finish was kind of harkening back to when he was more successful or enjoying his career as an artist more.
That's interesting. I like that.
We'll get to it in a bit, but with us talking about the kind of uncompleted Christophers, spoiler alert, I realized at the end his final work is a half completed kind of self-portrait to Laurie.
Yep.
I wonder if that was an intentional kind of through.
I think
there.
so. Yeah, I liked that. And, in his exploration of getting these Christophers back out and being like, I want to destroy them, he does find out about the scheme. Laurie comes clean to him sooner than you would expect in a movie like this, which I liked.
This isn't an overly long movie. It was maybe an hour and a half or so.
I think so.
Which I did appreciate.
Yeah, it didn't overstay its welcome because something like this could start to feel a little tedious, and it never did.
I think Ian McKellen did a great job of portraying this guy who is no doubt very talented, but he's just very troubled as well.
Yeah, and what he's really been doing since almost retiring or pushing this art away, he essentially does cameos.
Oh, right.
For money.
Yes. That was a fun thing to watch him doing it for doing a little spiel, a little unique curated spiel for each client, and his little twist on it and doing his little artistic little touches in the dialogue was fun.
There was one shot I really liked. Ian McKellen was sitting facing the camera, and on one side was his filming equipment for those videos, and then on like the other side was his artwork and the canvas and the paints, and it felt like a little angel devil on the shoulder vibe to me. I liked that. The camera work and the shots were really great in this. It was really visually interesting. Nothing ever felt flat. We have these long takes that really flow around hallways and different rooms. It makes the home feel lived in.
Yes, very much.
It feels almost grungy in a way.
Sure.
It's not full hoarder, but it's pretty disorganized. You can tell that this man, he doesn't care about keeping this pristine, spotless house. He's the kind of guy who is going to put something somewhere that doesn't make sense to anyone but him.
Yes, his children go on about how he hasn't even visited the third floor where the Christophers are being kept in years and years, saying he never goes up there. Laurie is kind of the spark that gets him to go back up there and kind of reevaluate, his past and where his life is currently, kind of reassess.
Exactly. And I do think there's an element there too. Maybe this is just something I've noticed in my life, but I feel like, from my observation, there's an older generation that if something bad happens or if something uncomfortable happens, just don't talk about it, just ignore it, it'll go away.
Sure.
And that felt almost like what he was doing with the Christophers and with this relationship. He talks at one point saying, he says, I was bisexual when it really meant something. I guess in the 80s when, yeah, it would have been considered controversial for a famous figure to be out as bisexual.
Yes. He drops a line around the same time saying he's talking about. Lori was saying how she had been in a throuple essentially previously. His kind of outdated way of looking at it is, oh, we just called that infidelity in my time. I did that as well.
Yeah, exactly.
He thinks very highly of himself, but it's also like outdated.
Yeah, I'm surprised he even used the word bisexual to refer to himself, honestly. But I'm sure he had, a lot of pain around that and how he was probably treated as a public figure who was out in the 80s. We don't get too much into it or the reasons why, but he definitely feels betrayed by Christopher. He says, I'm the one who made him into something, and then he just ignores me. There's also an element of he probably didn't treat Christopher very well.
Yeah, there's a lot of regret there.
He doesn't treat many people very well. And then when later in the movie we do meet Christopher because Laurie wants to make sure that the paintings go to him. His name isn't Christopher. That's his middle name. I forgot what his first name was.
It was like David or something like that.
Yeah, he said that Julian just didn't like the name. He said some rude comment about his name and was like, I'm just going to call you by your middle name, which is...
like his real name was too boring or something.
Yeah. So that kind of tells you how Christopher was probably treated by this man.
Yes. Good point.
He also seems quite a bit younger than Ian McKellen.
I think so.
He's maybe in his 40s or 50s.
Yeah, maybe.
So there's that element as well.
They show eventually, once it kind of, the scheme has come to light and kind of been quashed, I think Julian is impressed with Laurie's knowledge of art, especially his past and work and her certain styles. He even goes so far as going to her apartment to look at her different works and kind of reassess. They have met previously, as is established when she was younger. Julian had been on an art review show, maybe like contestants will come up and paint something, and him being a famous artist will rate it in front of an audience, and he just destroyed her and changed her life. But for him, it was just another day.
Exactly. And he said, I probably didn't even really take a look at your work. I was probably just thinking of the next joke to spit out.
Because when he looks at it later, when he's older, he likes it a lot.
He does, yeah. It seems like a lot of his circumstances. He's almost a prisoner of his own making.
Well put, I agree.
Spoiler alert, by the end of the movie, he does die while working on, he's inspired to keep working on these Christophers. He says, I'm going to make these as ugly as possible.
Yes, Laurie sort of reinvigorates him and helps him kind of get out of this slump, and he endeavors to, like you said, try to make them as ugly as possible. And it's kind of her helping him get back to work, even if he didn't realize it.
And he ends up throwing glitter and feathers and such all over everything. But then he has this really nice moment while he's doing that. And he looks at it and says, I can't make this ugly,
yeah,
essentially.
I like that.
And once he dies, they never specifically state, but I think it's pretty obvious. Yeah, Laurie does take those and finish them. And she makes sure that they're given to Christopher, who then does a public display of them.
Lori had been planning a art exhibit with Julian before he dies, and then she takes some of the remainder of his work and then some of her own spin on things in the kind of final shots showing what that all looks like. I thought her little Man on Cloud compilation of all the cell phones showing his cameos was really neat.
And then there was a parallel too, because he had a painting from earlier in his career. It was
Like Boy Under Cloud or
Yeah.
Boy with Cloud, something like that.
exactly. So
And
she has this realization, oh, that's him.
She was talking about how she tried to recreate it and couldn't get it right no matter what. It was just perfect. Then she discovers this. She said that was drawn when he was like 6 years old, something like that. She's been trying to recreate it, and then as he dies, he's trying to do this self-portrait, and it's half completed. But she compares the Boy Under Cloud and then the cloud work in his latest, and it matches almost exactly. She's still kind of taken away, I guess. I saw it as she was, I don't know, impressed by the similarities, how he was able to keep that kind of creative touch throughout his life.
Yeah, and then there's this final push of, she's still learning about this person who became pretty important to her even after he died.
Mm-hmm.
She's still learning new things.
Yes, not a bad movie at all.
Oh, I enjoyed it.
I thought it kept it short and sweet, and we didn't have too large of a cast. We were able to kind of get focused and intimate with a lot of our characters and see them at a lot of weak moments, which I thought was interesting. I mean, I don't know too much about art, but it was fun to watch Ian McKellen slop around some paint and have some fun with it.
I agree. I would give this movie an 88%.
88, okay. I'll give it a straight 80. How about that?
And the Rotten Tomatoes score is 95%.
People like that a lot more.
Critics.
Critics.
The people gave it an 87%, which
Okay.
is still very
right
good.
on the money almost.
That's more in line with my 88. I mean, 95, that is quite high.
People
but
like Gandalf.
I'm still gonna say this movie's worth the hype.
Yes, I guess would I have sought this out on my own? Maybe not. But if it's a fun, sweet little movie, I guess about kind of reconciling with your past, I suppose.
I think so. And I think even if you're not really an art person, you don't know much about paintings and stuff, yeah, it's still very enjoyable. So I would recommend this, worth the hype.
Absolutely, give it a shot.
Right, the time has come to recap the year 1990.
Let's do it. We had quite the interesting run through 1990. It was fun seeing the sheer variety of things we were able to view, and a lot of movies I had never heard of, and I'm glad we were able to watch.
I agree. It really gave me a sense of what was popular at the time. Quite a few mobster movies,
Right.
I would say. A couple movies that had that very specific tone of, is this a parody or is this being played straight? So I'm assuming that was kind of more popular in 1990. Now, I will say, when I was looking through my letterboxd for these movies, I did not have any 5 stars for the year 1990.
Okay, yeah.
I had 1 4.5 and a few 4s. So I've included all of my 4s and my 4.5.
Close to perfect, just not quite.
And I would like to give a shout out to some of the more popular movies from 1990 that we didn't watch. They weren't certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Okay.
And I think that's an interesting thing to look at as well in this experiment we're doing.
Sure.
Because, we're seeing if these things that are certified fresh, are they really worth the hype? But then, I don't know, are there some popular movies that...
Yeah, like what would I have loved, but it just didn't make the cut?
Exactly. Would we consider those movies worth the hype? Who knows? So I think that'll be interesting to take a look at.
Eventually, our list is just going to mold to, okay, we have to watch every movie ever made.
Every movie ever made, we're doing it.
Full-time job.
But I want to take a look at the highest grossing films of 1990.
Sure. Yeah, good idea.
Again, going back to that Wikipedia page. Number 1 is Ghost, which we did watch.
Oh, really?
2, Home Alone didn't make the cut, not certified fresh. I
Not
like Home
certified
Alone.
Fresh? Wow.
Yeah, Home Alone's a fun movie. I enjoy it.
Classic. I always forget that movie is older than I am even.
Yeah.
Because I grew up watching that a lot as a child, so I kind of thought, oh, this came out like around that same time, when I was like, I don't know, 6, 7 years old.
Yeah. Number 3 was Dances with Wolves.
Okay.
Number 4, Pretty Woman. I've never seen Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts, but I do know that's quite the popular movie.
I've seen clips. Is that the one where Richard Gere has like the open box of jewelry and he like snaps it shut on her, and that was unplanned, so she's laughing at him. I've seen that scene a bunch.
Yeah,
it's a fun movie.
Very popular movie. I've never seen it, but didn't make the certified fresh cut.
So Ghost made the most money in 1990.
It did. It made...
People were just frothing over that movie.
And it made the most money by quite a lot.
Really?
Because Home Alone's number 2. Ghost made over $285 million. In
1990? Wow.
And then Home Alone's second with over $217 million.
Okay.
So that's quite a big gap.
That's just peak Swayze.
It really is. Number 5 was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, the live action ones? Those are fantastic.
I've never seen it. Didn't make the cut.
I need to rewatch them, but the prosthetics and the practical effects, great.
Number 6, we watched this one, The Hunt for Red October. 7, we also watched Total Recall. Number 8, didn't watch Die Hard 2. It didn't make the cut.
Ooh, I think that's the one where it's at an airport. I don't think I've seen Die Hard 2 all the way through.
I've never seen Die Hard 2.
We watched one together, didn't we?
No, I've never seen Die Hard.
No? Okay.
That must be your other wife you're thinking of.
We're married? Oh.
And then number 9 was Dick Tracy. Also didn't make the cut. I haven't seen it, but I have not heard great things about it from people who have. And then number 10, another movie I've never seen, Kindergarten Cop.
Kindergarten Cop. That sounds like a blast.
So, if any of those movies are beloved to you, maybe that's, even more indication that it's Rotten Tomatoes. You got to look into it a little bit more.
Very subjective. I would say in a different world, like Home Alone would have made my probably top list under different criteria.
And also of note, for the Oscars nominated for Best Picture, the winner was Dances with Wolves, also nominated. Movie called Awakenings with Robert De Niro and
Never seen that.
Robin Williams. I've never seen it.
De Niro and Robert Williams together?
Yeah, Robin Williams and De Niro, yeah.
I've never heard of that.
I've never seen it. I
Interesting.
don't know what it's about. When I reviewed it on Rotten Tomatoes, it had a good score, but didn't have enough reviews to get that certified
no.
fresh. So
We gotta jump in and help out.
not a very popular movie, I suppose, which I've never heard of it. So maybe we'll check it out sometime.
Sure.
Ghost was also nominated. The Godfather Part 3, that did not get a good enough score to make the cut.
Okay. I've seen it. I think we have it on
We
the
do
shelf.
have it on the shelf. You have the Godfather box set.
It's something.
If you
It
had
is
to
something.
throw one of the Godfather box sets away, it would be
that one.
That one.
Yep.
And then Goodfellas also nominated. If I were a voter, I would have voted for Goodfellas. Okay.
Absolutely.
But I just wanted to kind of go over those, review the things that didn't make the cut that also shaped the year of 1990 in movies.
Absolutely. What we watched and what we're reviewing and kind of in our top 5 list is just a part of everything that came out starting that decade.
Exactly.
I'll be curious to see how we see this styles start to change as we get into 1991 movies and so on.
I agree. And with that, I guess we can get into it. I have one honorable mention. Do you have any honorable mentions?
I do. You start us out.
All right, so I have one honorable mention. Like I said, I wanted to give a shout out to all my 4 stars. All of my movies in my top 5 were 4 stars on Letterboxd for me, except the top one, which was 4.5.
Okay.
And this honorable mention, the lone 4 star I had to leave off.
Really?
Cinema Paradiso. Yeah. Cinema Paradiso, I think, was a really lovely movie. It was quite long, which is probably what keeps it off of my list proper.
Okay.
If you're someone who loves film and just really connects with the art of filmmaking, this movie's gonna give your heart a little tingle.
Sure. No, I get that. It's a love letter to cinema.
Exactly. I'm gonna think about that little boy looking up at the movie screen like it's the greatest thing in the entire universe for the rest of my life. That's a great classic shot in cinema.
Oh, see, I'm so jaded that the little boy in that movie, he was just annoying me the whole time.
No, I thought he was the least annoying when he was the little boy.
I mean, I was rooting for the movie fire that broke
No.
out.
When he was a grown man, that's when I stopped liking him.
Yeah. Don't get old, folks. You get weird.
I think the point of that was more maybe you should get over your high school girlfriend.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's my one honorable mention. Do you have yours?
My honorable mention, I think we watched it a couple times together. Tremors.
Tremors.
What a movie.
Tremors is fun.
I'm sure if I watched any of the sequel movies, I may not like him quite as much. That first one seems to be
Pretty special, but especially you got Kevin Bacon, you've got Reba running around with a big old shotgun. I appreciate all the practical effects in this movie. The story has a steady pace that gets you right to it. It doesn't linger. It's got action, a little bit of horror. It's got comedy, stunt work. Like I said, a lot of practical effects. I love like the creature design. I see this brought up, even just browsing like social media every so often, people reminiscing on Tremors saying this is a movie where all the characters act pretty competently.
Yes.
React in ways that make sense, and it's not as irrational as you might suspect some plot lines could go to kind of lengthen things out. Very to the point. I appreciated that. So
I
honorable
agree.
mention.
Great pick. Great pick. Love some Tremors. Now that we've done honorable mentions, let's talk about our least favorite movie of 1990.
I think I'm gonna guess what yours is. Go for it.
Mine was the sole half-star movie that I had for 1990.
Mm-hmm.
And it was Jodorowsky's Santa Sangre.
Yep, same pick.
So that was your worst as well?
It was.
Yeah.
They should have just left that man in the insane asylum, and nothing would have happened.
What really soured this movie for me was I thought I was really going to enjoy it. I thought it was going to be this campy, fun B-movie type thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a bit campy. It was certainly B-movie. It was not fun.
No.
I don't really like to police what you can and can't put in a movie, but I did think that this movie was offensive. I think it was really othering differently abled people and women, and just, I didn't like it.
I agree. And just on top of all that, the story was just nonsensical to me. To me, I'm just calling it Willy Wonka from hell, because it was a lot of over-the-top strangeness that I just did not get a lot of the time. The flow was all over the place. I thought everyone is just like, wow, everyone is just the worst person you've met. It keeps getting worse every time, every new person that's introduced.
Yeah, I think I would have enjoyed this movie more if it had stayed focused on that religious aspect.
Or even
I
just the circus,
love
yeah.
a good movie that, points out the absurdity of organized religion.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that's where we were going at the beginning.
It was all over the place.
Yeah, and then there were these big long sequences of, look at this circus thing, and you're not Charlie Chaplin.
Right. That's maybe the problem. He thought he was Charlie Chaplin. It was gross in weird ways.
It was
and
gross in weird ways.
like you said, it didn't treat any of the women very well at all.
I thought sexual assault was almost a punchline.
Yes.
I thought they were using differently abled people as a punchline.
Yes, this was very much a let's point out and gawk at anyone who might be labeled different or not doesn't fit into normal society, something like that.
Exactly.
And for no reason, no payoff.
No, there really wasn't any payoff because at the end he gets caught.
Yeah, he's Norman Batesing himself, thinking that it's his armless mom killing folk. He's just crazy.
Which I do think that's a really fun idea.
It is, yes. There's some interesting elements here. It's just like they shook him out in a bag and just dumped it on the floor and called it a movie. Doesn't work like that.
It made me feel uncomfy, but in a bad way, in a way that I don't think was intended.
It's like a stomach ache was a movie.
Yeah.
Pavements as if a headache was a movie, and Santa Sangre, the stomach ache movie.
And, Jodorowsky would probably think I was a little bitch for feeling that way, but, I don't care. I don't think I like this man. I don't know much about him personally, but just from this movie, I feel like I have an idea of who he is.
Yes, I'm like, if you're willing to make a movie about these sort of things and show these things, what else are you willing to do? So yes, Santa Sangre, my least favorite movie we watched from 1990.
Mine as well. I'm glad we're on the same page.
Absolutely. I'm sure we'll have some overlap here, but that's not a bad thing.
Exactly. My number 5. I've chosen The Cook, the Thief, His Wife, and Her Lover.
Really?
I did, yes.
You liked that movie.
Oh, I really did.
I saw that in the same kind of nonsensical atmosphere as Santa Sangre almost.
See, I was just about to bring up Santa Sangre because I do see the similarities.
Yeah.
The way this movie made me feel is how Santa Sangre should have made me feel. Because
Do tell.
did this movie make me feel uncomfortable? Yes, of course. But not in a way where I thought the filmmaker is making fun of anyone or that the filmmaker hates women. Because we do see a woman in some pretty brutal situations here, but
She's more of our protagonist overall.
exactly.
I think that's a big
She's very well developed.
help, yeah.
Helen Mirren's doing a great job. And everything that's happening makes sense.
Yes.
Even if it's ugly to look at or a grotesque thing that's happening, it makes sense in the narrative. It all ties together and it all means something. I loved the production design. I
Sure.
loved the costume design.
It's very unique.
I loved how every room they went into in the restaurant was a different color. And you would have Helen Mirren walking into one room, into the next, and her outfit would change colors just in that little swap. So the
Good touch.
editing was great. The directing was great. Loved the performances. I thought that there was so much about food here and how food is an art. And you have some people who don't respect that, like the thief, the titular thief, who is almost pretentious in a way, thinks it makes him cool to have this restaurant and to tell everyone I know all of this about fine cuisine. But then you have the cook who says he has the most unrefined palate I've ever seen. And, we see Helen Mirren finding solace in this guy who goes to this restaurant to really take in the food and the atmosphere. He just goes by himself and reads his book and really enjoys the cuisine. And I just really liked all of the parallels and themes there. It was very stylish. Give me a stylish movie any day.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's your number 5.
Yep.
Okay. My number 5. I had to think about this a lot. Now, as you know, rewatchability is a big factor when I rate movies, and I would say that is also present in my number 5, which is Back to the Future Part 3.
You didn't even sit down and watch it.
Because I've seen it before. I have rewatched it. I just didn't want to rewatch it that recently. But it's controversial, I know. Is Back to the Future Part 3 superior to Parts 1 and 2 to having not seen that one either?
No.
No. But
2's really good.
I think I've seen 1 all the way through. Man, I'm going to get criticized for this. No. You've got Michael J. Fox. You've got Christopher.
Lloyd.
He lets me call him Chris. You've got the culmination of this series. You've got this duo's dynamic and their comedy.
They do have great chemistry.
One of my favorite parts is when Marty finds Doc at the bar. He takes this shot of whiskey and passes out. And the bartender's he goes, how many has he had? It's his first one. He goes, there's a man who can't handle his liquor. Loved it as a kid. Love it now. Is Back to the Future my favorite movie series of all time? Of course not. I think this is a part of that series that does well, but it doesn't define the series. It's a good part of it, if that makes sense. Am I the biggest Western setting fan? Not necessarily, but when you're mixing it with the weird sci-fi goofiness of it all, I think it works. You are able to wrap up the series in a nice little bow. It's got that nostalgia factor. Of course, I love the main actors.
Mary Steenburgen is delightful.
Absolutely. So just for all of that, that makes it just edges in top 5 for me.
Okay. Hey, Back to the Future Part 3. I thought it was a perfectly fine movie.
Far superior to The Godfather Part 3, I will tell you that.
I'm going to give you that, yeah. That's true.
It's like if I'm watching, just like flipping through TV channels and see Back to the Future Part 3 is on and there's nothing else. Sure, yeah, I'm just going to sit down, I'm going to reminisce, laugh at some old jokes, and just have fun with it. It's a movie you can have fun with. You don't have to take it too seriously. It's not in your face about a whole bunch of things. I'm a fan.
Right. Number 4. Mm-hmm. My number 4, it's Ghost.
Ghost.
I liked Ghost. I wasn't expecting to like Ghost as much as I did. I just had a really fun time. It honestly wasn't about what I thought it was about, because you see the Ghost parodies of the pottery,
absolutely
sexy kind of scene. So I had always assumed that this movie was about Demi Moore moving into a new house and falling in love with a ghost Patrick Swayze.
That's what I thought too.
I fully thought that's what the movie was about, but no, they're already a couple. The pottery thing happens while he's still alive, and it doesn't really come back up again. Yeah, he ends up dying, killed by his best friend, actually. And what was so delightful about this movie was Whoopi Goldberg. I 100% see why she won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actress.
She was the best part in that movie for me.
She carried. I surprisingly found Ghost really funny.
Yeah, I get that.
I thought the concept of this woman who's being a scam medium actually being able to hear and see this man.
Yeah, it actually works for her this one time.
I thought it was so funny. I thought Whoopi Goldberg and Patrick Swayze had really good chemistry.
Yeah.
They played off of each other really well, and all of their shenanigans were very fun. Demi Moore's character wasn't a huge factor in this movie. She did feel a little more like a plot device.
I guess I can see that, sure.
But I still thought she did a great job. She has a very pretty cry.
Very pretty cry?
She does. She cried and looked very pretty.
Hey, fair enough. Fair enough. Not all of us can do it.
At the same time in this movie.
I only have the ability to ugly cry.
That's fair. That's needed.
That's needed?
Yeah.
There's the Demis of the world, and then there's me.
The substance before and after?
Yes.
But yeah, I just overall found Ghost very enjoyable. It's a movie, kind of like you said with Back to the Future. If I'm scrolling on TV and I want to watch something and Ghost is on, yeah, I'll sit down and watch Ghost. I think there's a fun rewatchability factor there.
Sure.
There's a lot to be said about just having a good time watching a movie, and that's what Ghost was for me. I get why it made so much money. It's a crowd pleaser.
It is. I get that. All right, I guess that brings us to my number 4. Again, a movie that sticks out to me, it's a good time. It's kind of self-contained. Bringing it up, Stephen King with Misery.
Misery.
Kathy Bates at her best. I'd watched this movie, I think, when I was like a teenager last. And I remembered the major beats, but it was a fun time kind of rediscovering that not only is Kathy Bates kind of portraying this eccentric, overbearing lady trying to nurture James Caan to the point of being violent, she's a serial killer.
Oh, yeah.
Completely went over my head the first time. The leg breaking scene gets me squeamish even today.
So
Very well
good.
done. I loved their dynamic. Kathy Bates, of course, really just carries the movie and has this sort of chilling presence, which you really, flips the switch and goes full serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
It is your fun sort of mystery movie in the fact that you spend part of the movie kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop. At least that's how I kind of saw it. And then that's what we get with James Caan realizing he's not going to be able to escape unless something drastic happens. Do you see James Caan? He's the writer in the movie. Is that sort of like a Stephen King kind of self-insert, do you think?
I think so.
That's what I was getting as well. All that kind of put together, it's make it just such a unique little horror flick that is just enjoyable. It's fun to rewatch. I pick up on different things every time, and I think that's what really makes a movie special for me. It doesn't really get old. It's not too long, anything like that. That nails it at number 4.
I agree. And while we're talking about Misery, it's my number 3.
It's your number 3.
Yeah,
All right.
I agree with all of your points. It is such a fun ride. Kathy Bates, James Caan, they're both fantastic. What a well-deserved Oscar win. I think we could call that one of the best acting wins ever, honestly.
Yeah, I get that.
Because it's so cool, and to have that horror performance recognized, that's rare.
It's so out of character for the real Kathy Bates.
Yeah.
And
seems like a lovely woman.
Exactly. Just watch Matlock. You'll see she's adorable. But it was interesting to see how Kathy Bates was able to keep her kind of same demeanor for the most part. But like I said, when she wants to, she can flip that switch and it works so well. She gets that cold, just kind of dead-eyed stare for you when she's plotting my demise.
And she switches on a dime,
yes.
But it always feels natural.
It's
never forced. Yes, it's menacing. Even though you look at Annie Wilkes and she doesn't look like an imposing person.
Exactly. That's what makes it so scary.
Exactly. Great movie and great direction by Rob Reiner.
Yes. What a film.
Always keeping it interesting.
I still think
really
about
building the tension very well.
The old man sheriff, like going around trying to find James Caan and trying to investigating what was happening. It kind of felt like it was like he was taking us as the audience along for the ride and investigating, trying to figure out what was happening. All the while me as the viewer is kind of shouting at him, "You're so close! Just go into the house. He's in the back room."
And then bam.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
Hey, he was old. It's okay. Yeah, Misery.
Misery. Great movie. I'm interested to watch more Rob Reiner movies
Absolutely.
now, for sure. Just loved this one.
We've only scratched the surface.
Absolutely. All right, so that was my number 3. What was your number 3?
My number 3, it was a new watch for me. I'd never seen it before, hadn't heard of it before, but now holds a special place in my heart. The Rescuers Down Under.
Oh, really? Number 3?
Number 3.
I thought that was going to be your number 1.
It was in the running. I think overall, what kept it from number 1 was the
sheer quality of the other movies.
I suppose. No, I would say it's a kid's movie, and that is reflected throughout. There were moments that had me genuinely laughing at that movie. Had your heartfelt moments. The animation was fantastic. You get adorable talking mice adventuring together. Their bird transportation, stork, I think he was, whatever he was hilarious. A fun time. I want to rewatch it. Rescue Rangers, Electric Blue 2, my favorite animation of the year, I think. 1990. And even compared to like Fantasia, I think I liked that. It was, a good like start to finish kind of adventure movie.
I enjoyed this one as well. I knew you were really gonna love it when the movie started and you're seeing this little boy being in nature and all the environmentalism messages.
And
I thought you would have loved this one as a kid.
Absolutely. I'm surprised I never watched it. I never even heard of it. The antagonist was just a truly evil guy. He was actually dangerous, which I appreciated. He was a threat kind of throughout. This movie wasn't afraid to hold back when it wanted to give you full impact while also maintaining the through line of, I don't want to say like childlessness, maybe innocence, I suppose.
Yeah.
You have our little boy protagonist just trying to do his best in overwhelming circumstances. Not all of us have mice guardians looking out for us. I do, however.
Of course.
Yeah, what a great time. I think the animation still really holds up. I would like to see somehow like a return to that kind of classic kind of Disney looking style, hand-drawn style, I mean.
I agree. I love a hand-drawn movie.
Ended up being one of my surprise favorites of the year.
And like I said, I would watch the first one and I'd watch that one again.
All right, my number 2. You ready for this one?
Let's do it.
Goodfellas.
Goodfellas number 2.
Martin Scorsese. This, I feel, is his masterpiece.
Yes.
I walked into this movie assuming I would hate it.
I thought you would not like it at all, yeah.
Because on its surface, it felt like one of those film bro mob movies, very macho, male centric. And, I haven't watched every Scorsese movie, but the ones I have seen, I didn't like After Hours. I didn't care for The Irishman, which I thought would maybe be a similar tone to this.
He maybe tried, but...
Killers of the Flower Moon. It gave us Lily Gladstone.
True.
That's the positive. So this is the first Scorsese movie that I've watched that I've been really wowed by.
Sure.
And I understand why everyone says this is the one he should have won Best Director for.
Absolutely.
He should have won Best Director. Kevin Costner won Best Director and Best Picture for Dances with Wolves. And Goodfellas, far superior.
People in the 90s just couldn't appreciate it.
I've said it so many times on this podcast, but I'm still thinking about the camera work in the restaurant scene. I adore that we're switching POV.
Yeah.
And we do get a lot of insight on Ray Liotta's wife and what she's going through. And she's a really interesting dynamic character. So women aren't just used as plot point damsel in distresses.
Absolutely. They're not treated well in this movie.
No, of course not.
Like you said, she's her own character.
Exactly.
She's not there just to be his wife.
Yes. Ray Liotta, I'm surprised wasn't nominated for Best Actor.
I know.
He is remarkable here when he is going on his drug-infused bender. Wild.
The makeup's
What
great.
a great job. Yeah, the makeup's great. This is my favorite Robert De Niro performance. He was so sinister. Sinister in a different way from Joe Pesci, who won Best Supporting Actor. Joe Pesci was sinister in this fiery, fly off the handle way. Everyone loves that scene where he's, what, you making fun of me?
Yes.
Because is he
Funny
serious?
how.
Yeah.
Is he not? He's so phenomenal. And then Robert De Niro gives you that scary vibe in a completely different way because he's so calculated and he's a little quieter, a little smarter, and that almost feels scarier to me.
They encapsulate that pretty well in the line towards the end of the movie. Ray Liotta is meeting with De Niro in like that diner scene towards the end, and Liotta's kind of his monologue is your killers approach you with smiles. It's not any big dramatic violent display. It's this sinister underhanded like seediness. that really, I think, is personified by De Niro's character.
Exactly. That's a great overall theme here. But yeah, Goodfellas, my number 2.
Number 2.
Love it.
My number 2. This is a movie I've seen a few times now. The Hunt for Red October. Classic. You've got 007. You've got a Baldwin just kind of going around doing things.
Got some bad accents.
You got submarines. You've got Cold War era espionage. That's just fun. It's your kind of like alternate history sort of things that is, I guess, technically plausible, could have happened. Again, I like the fictionalized kind of take on like U.S.-Soviet relations in the Cold War, and this is kind of like a microcosm of a wider geopolitical kind of tension, conflict. Got that also mixed up with a submarine captain and crew who are just trying to survive and improve their lives. So you get like this overarching theme, but also the personal lives and motivations of some of these characters. It's not a perfect movie by any means. I think it has really good dialogue, a lot of good just kind of back and forth. So yeah, it's a movie I found myself rewatching from beginning to end a few times, and that earns it number 2 for me.
I love that for you.
You were not a fan, were you?
No, it's
I
not
get it.
really my thing,
get
but
it.
I'm glad that it's your thing and it did that thing the best it could.
I agree. I think it does we're looking for this stolen piece of military tech, kind of military industrial complex melded with like espionage and ideological kind of oppositions or kind of opposites, which I found to be an interesting take. And then you get these, like I said, different ideology, then also how you get a lot of overlap in the humanity of some of the characters. I thought was kind of well portrayed. This movie gives you a little bit of everything. It's a cool name, The Hunt for Red October.
It is a cool
badass.
name. You're right. It is a cool name. Are you ready
Let's do it.
for my number 1?
Let's do it.
You look scared.
You look fiendish.
Fiendish. I have a feeling you won't really remember this movie.
Oh, give me a try.
My number 1 movie was Metropolitan.
Metropolitan. What was that one even about?
See, I knew it. I knew
It makes me think of that movie that just came out with Kylo Ren and had Aubrey Plaza in it. And it was made by
Megalopolis?
Megalopolis, yes.
This movie, I've never seen Megalopolis, but I don't think these are similar movies.
What's the Metropolitan about again?
Metropolitan was about the college kids who come back to New York for school break.
Yeah,
And they're having those debutante parties where they're talking about philosophy and religion and just things that, of course, these pretentious college kids are talking about. I loved it. I thought the conversations were really dynamic. The script was really tight, really, really impressive. It got a screenplay nomination at the Oscars. Very deserved.
A good conversation really draws me in, so I appreciate that.
Yeah, it felt like a series of those conversations, and it felt like it could have been a play.
Yeah, it could have.
I'm always
Absolutely.
a big fan of that. Just when a conversation flows so naturally that you can just picture it on a stage. I still think about that conversation that our main guy and his love interest have, where she's telling him about, I believe, a Jane Austen book she enjoyed, and he says he didn't like it, but he's never read it. He just read a review, but he knows that he doesn't like it just from reading a review. And that is absolutely something that pretentious college kids in art school say. And I know that because I was one once upon a time.
Once upon a time.
I just had a lot of fun. The only reason this movie got 4.5 stars instead of 5 was because about 3/4 of the way through, the best character in the movie, Nick, gets on a train and
Never
just
see him
nopes
again.
out of there. The movie really wasn't as engaging without Nick. He was the best.
We loved him because he was there, not because he was there the whole movie.
Exactly. He was just so dynamic. Every word out of his mouth, I was hooked in.
Nick got it.
He had great energy. He got all of the best philosophical points, and he got to
one-liners.
be the agent of chaos.
We love it.
But yeah, Metropolitan was definitely my favorite of 1990. I think it does have a rewatchability element for me. There are definitely different conversation pieces and points that I think I would pick up on or feel drawn to more each time I watch the movie.
Sure.
So, yeah, I loved it. Metropolitan, my favorite movie of the year 1990.
Well done. What a unique choice. Mine is much less so. Mine's very predictable. Goodfellas is
I
my
knew it would
number
be
one pick.
Goodfellas. Yeah.
Now,
It's a great one.
I agree with everything you said on your kind of review for Goodfellas. I would say the added layer that brings it to number one for me, the history element. I'm a big history buff, and it is telling aspects of, I believe the character's name is Henry, throughout his life, starting like the 1950s, I think it is, through say like the 80s or 90s, based off of a lot of real people, characters, and events. And I find, I mean, it's a part of the history of the rise, and not the rise, but kind of the
Popularization?
high points and the start of the decline of organized crime and the mob in certain areas, and how things like involving from like drugs as like a matter of survival in prison leads to addiction, leads to involvement with like the police and being surveilled, and eventually having to turn on like your friends and family just to save your own skin. I love the added aspect of I think he's like an FBI agent, something like that, who was doing the interview with Ray Liotta and his wife, saying, you're going to have to leave your family, you're going into witness protection. That was the actual guy who really arrested and did all that with the real Henry and his wife. I thought that was such a neat added touch.
That.
Hey, if you're on YouTube, check out History Buffs. They have a great review of Goodfellas and showing what the movie got right, what it kind of embellished some. But again, this is based off of real things that happened. I find that so interesting. Yeah, I think that caps it off as number one for 1990 for me.
Yeah, it was really wild how some of the craziest things in this movie that I'm thinking, that has to be an embellishment for this. Nope, really happened.
If anything, a lot of the things they toned down some, especially like the mob violence of it all.
You still got to make the main character likable enough to carry a movie.
Exactly. And then you just get these phenomenal performances. Of course, Joe Pesci at his best. De Niro he could almost be like a serial killer the way he kind of plays it. Like we said, he'll be smiling as he stabs you. I think Ray Liotta gave a performance of a lifetime. It is a shame he didn't. Did he even get nominated for that role?
I don't believe he did, no.
Such a shame.
Well, he won our hearts, and he's at number one for me.
Yeah, nominated for actor in a leading role that year was Kevin Costner in Dances with Wolves. That's offensive to me.
Wild.
Robert De Niro in that Awakenings movie.
Okay.
Creepy Gerard Depardieu and Cyrano de Bergerac. And Richard Harris in The Field. And the winner was Jeremy Irons in Reversal of Fortune, which we also watched.
Yes.
I didn't think Kevin Costner's performance in Dances with Wolves was very good. I would have absolutely put Ray Liotta here instead.
I guess we have the benefit of hindsight.
Maybe in 1990, people couldn't quite appreciate Goodfellas at the time. I think maybe we were getting some of the last vestiges of the Godfather kind of style of mob movies,
while Goodfellas was a much more realistic but much uglier portrayal.
Yeah, it was ushering in a new era and how those things would look. It's going to be interesting as we go through the rest of the 90s, seeing how that's going to evolve and the impact that Goodfellas is going to have on the rest of cinema.
I am sure, like I said, The Godfather Part 3 didn't do as well for a reason.
Oh, absolutely. I just can't imagine in the same year going to the movie theater and then watching Goodfellas and then going to the movie theater and watching Miller's Crossing.
Yeah. Absolutely. I was kind of thinking of that. If you like The Godfather, like so let's just say someone who was like our age in 1990, you grew up with The Godfather, you watch Miller's Crossing, it's kind of in that sort of similar elements
Miller's
maybe.
Crossing felt like a parody to me. I thought it was a joke.
It's taking itself seriously. I think I have to look at it like it's serious for some reason.
See, I have to look at it like a joke or I'll hate it.
And I get it. Yeah, Goodfellas. I'll watch it again. I'm glad we did. I'm glad you loved it.
I did. I loved it. If I saw a cool copy, I would put it on the shelf.
Hey, Christmas present idea. Awesome.
Right. Well, that's our recap of 1990. We had some pretty great movies. Like I said, I didn't have any 5 out of 5s, but still, these movies that we talked about,
I would say
really great.
out of all we watched, the one that sticks with me, I'd never seen it before, and I'm still trying to kind of review it in my mind. I might rewatch it again. To Sleep with Anger.
I really appreciated To Sleep with Anger. It's another one of those movies that felt like a play to me.
It did, yes.
I definitely don't think it got the respect that it deserved back in 1990.
I can kind of guess why.
I can as well.
Yeah.
The fact that Danny Glover wasn't nominated for lead actor as well.
He had probably, if he had given like a similar performance nowadays, he probably would have gotten a nomination.
He probably would have won.
Absolutely.
Yeah, To Sleep with Anger was a really interesting one. I need to find maybe a deep dive or maybe an academic piece of literature that's dissecting the themes.
I suppose one of the reasons I did not include it in like an honorable mention, I didn't find it as, let's say, compared to like a Tremors, it's a more serious movie.
It's not as rewatchable.
Yeah, it's not very comedic at all. It's telling you a lot, but it's not like your kind of self-contained adventure movie.
Exactly.
I'm a simple fella. Give me a fun little Tremors movie, and I'll just laugh and watch the screen and have a good time.
Exactly. But I would definitely want to rewatch To Sleep with Anger when I'm feeling in the mood to sit down, maybe with a notebook and dissect something, you know? Because it was a very deep movie.
It is.
I did like it a lot. It was very good.
Yes, we're going to make our way to 1991.
1991.
See what is in store for us.
Yeah, we'll see if we wind up liking 1991 even more than 1990.
Thank y'all for sticking with us through the start of this interesting decade in cinema.
Absolutely. And with that, we'll see you next time.
So long.